Peace, family. What's good? Oh man, yeah, we're live and direct. I'm just gonna quickly make a quick video now. Why am I making this quick video? Is to prep your minds. I want to prep your minds because hopefully a little bit later on tonight, inshallah, we're actually gonna do a video on this, and hopefully sometime in the future we're gonna do a little video on this as well. So let me start first and foremost is to shout out Brixton Masjid. I definitely want to shout out my brother, or a brilliant ustad, a brilliant teacher, Sheikh. I'm going to say Sheikh. Let me say Ustad actually. Abdul Haq Al Ashanti. Okay, so there's a brother by that name. He's an elder scholar. By that name that belongs to the Brixton Masjid. He, part of the whole Salafi manhaj, the whole Salafi methodology of how they, interpret things and so forth, and how they conduct themselves as well. So let me shout them out and say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh to y'all guys. And also I need to shout out my Hoteppers, I need to shout out my Kemetic community, my Kemetic crew. What's good? Okay, so Hotep Alan to all of you guys as well. Shout outs to Honey Pharaoh, Bigger Valley in the building, Bernie Stacks, and Miss Cake Gate. Kalam, you need to start doing lectures in the UK. Time to put it on. Indeed. So I was happy, I was elated. Remember this earlier on today, you might have remember watching me. I was in Cray, the city that's so nice you have to say it twice. And we saw, a Muslim brother in there. Shouts out to him as well. He said, what, fam, man's been seeing these leaflets over in the Brixton Masjid. They got a leaflet on refuting Kemetic. I was like, bro, that's kind of big still, is it? Really? Yeah. Shouts out to a few of my brothers. My brother's saying, there is it there, but there's no more in print. It's not inside the masjid. Shouts out to my other brother as well. Reached out to Abu Hamid, and he said, boom, bang, here it is. So, he sent me a little something. This is like a short little snippet of a 300-page book, I presume. And it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. I was kind of elated because finally it's time where people are actually having to do the research, having to present information to combat and rebuttal Kemetic information. So so it's great to see it. It's great to see it that people actually, having an interest. We had a brother Hamza coming in from Saudi Arabia. He came through, he was reading up, going onto forums, etc. And he came to actually refute certain information, which was an interesting, conversation. And then, we have, Saracen as well doing his research. But this is excellent because it's great to have somebody from your own community. What I mean by that is the African community, somebody who is actually from Ghana itself, studied, I believe, Afrocentric works, and is coming to present an argument against Kemetic information. So it's beautiful to have that scholarly minds actually coming together to present things to opposing Kemet. That's great. I'm all for it. I'm happy. Like this is I thrive off this. I live for this. Do you know why? Most people like the hype of drama. Me? Nah, fam. I stay far away from drama. I like the hype of reading good material. I like reading books. I like reading pamphlets, leaflets, booklets, whatever it is, articles, journals, whatever you can produce that can get my mind stimulated. Some of us are sapiosexuals, we love we fall in love with people's minds, okay? And that's what we're all about. So it's excellent to see people are coming together to actually do this. So he basically puts forward an argument. I don't know if I can read a little something. So hopefully, I want to pass this around to the brothers who's representing Kemet at present and see what they have to say. Yas, what's good, man? Like Daniel, in the building. Wowzers. So, the brother puts forward an argument and says here that Islam is based upon Tawheed, singling out Allah alone for worship with a monotheism which is distinct from all other faiths. And he quotes the Quran, but I'll just jump along sweetly. However, some of the Afrocentric Kemet thinkers have asserted that Islam has merely adopted Tawheed from the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten. The Kemet movement also shares many similarities with white European Freemasonic obsession with Kemet, with ancient Egypt, etc. So, I'm going to stop there because the brother now, talks about Freemasonry, talks about Aleister Crowley, and these are all distractions to actually get your mind persuading your mind. Well, it's actually a fallacy again. It's called the fallacy of poisoning the well, because a lot of people who's heard about European Freemasonry or Freemasonry in general is like, no, Illuminati, devil worshipping. So you're already putting your mind on ease. And then you mention Aleister Crowley, oh, do what thou will, and that is the whole of the law, etc., etc. When people hear these types of things, it's like code to be like, be spooked out, basically. So I'm not going to read the rest of that particular section because it's fallacious. It has no bearing upon what's being spoken about. So I'm going to go back to what he initially asserted. However, some of the Afrocentric Kemet thinkers have asserted that Islam has merely adopted Tawheed from the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten. All right, so that's beautiful. So that's his claim, so to speak. And he basically quotes within inside of the footnote. Okay, there's a footnote, and it says Molefi K. Asante, for example, stated in his book From Imhotep to Akhenaten, an introduction to the Egyptian philosophers, page 60. Nevertheless, like the names of the supreme deity in Yoruba, Akan, Igbo, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, the function and roles of the deity in Kemet remain the same through these various transformations. Herein, attempting to portray Islam as a mere adapted version of the credo of the ancient Egyptian pharaohs. I don't know whether that claim was actually stating that, but let's just run with it. So we're going to continue anyway. And then it continues and says this. He basically says that Yosef Ben Yakanan, Dr. Ben, for those of us who know, also argues similar in his book, Black Man of the Nile and His Family. Okay, page 365, a modern writer from Egypt, Ahmed Osman, claimed in his book Moses, Pharaoh of Egypt, the mystery of Akhenaten, resolved that the Pharaoh Akhenaten was in fact the prophet Musa. Okay, yet as shall be seen in the information presented herein, such a claim is totally inaccurate. While in his 2005 book Christianity in Ancient Egypt Religion, he asserts that it is an offshoot of an ancient Egyptian mystery cult. So that's what's being stated within inside of the footnotes. I don't think it actually backs up your argumentation here, stating that, what does he state? That Islam is merely adopted Tawheed from, let's see, let me just get back. Islam merely adopted Tawheed from the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten. I have yet to see, okay, where Kemetic practitioners or Afrocentric Kemet thinkers has actually made that claim. So far, you're stating that they have made the claim, and I personally think what he's doing in this article or this particular pamphlet, I enjoyed it, by the way. I enjoyed it and I applaud it. Let me just say that straight off the bat. I enjoyed it and I applauded it because his argumentation was, in large, succinct. It followed suit. For the most part. He included a large amount of footnotes, which was very interesting to see how well read this author is. I appreciated it. I was like, okay, good, excellent. Unfortunately, I just spotted, I read it a couple times. All right, cool. Let me just read it once. All right, cool. Read it twice. All right, cool. I'm not even gonna do much with it because right now I just want to just get the family stimulated. And I just saw various fallacies throughout it. Fallacy of equivocation. Because you're conflating the two terms of Tawheed and monotheism. I think it's not even Kemetic thinkers that actually put forward the claim, but it's usually Egyptologists and other individuals that put forward the claim that Akhenaten was the first one to bring monotheism to the world, and the rest of the world was inspired or adopted monotheism from Akhenaten, basically. Okay, if you're arguing that point and the way you put forward your argument, I'm with you. I would even think that's fallacious. I don't even particularly think that Akhenaten brought forward monotheism at all. But if that was your argument, I'm with you. But at the same time, it's a misrepresentation of the Kemetic philosophy. Why do I say that? Why do I say it's a misrepresentation of the Kemetic philosophy? Especially when you're utilizing Akhenaten. Why? Because the Kemetic philosophy or the Kemetic history itself, in large, labels Akhenaten as a heretic, labels him as a heretic. So what that means is, if Akhenaten is a heretic, all right, you can hardly be quoting anything from Akhenaten to support any cause, anything to do with Tawheed, in terms of, does ancient Egyptian or Kemetic practitioners or thinkers say that Islam adopted Tawheed from Kemet? If so, like, we've got 4,000 years of Kemetic history. Why have you singled out this particular person who is labeled as a heretic, which most people will say, nope, this has got nothing to do with the origins or the fullness of Kemetic teachings? You've singled him out to make a strawman argumentation against Tawheed, and then you make the claim to say that Egyptian or Kemetic thinkers basically poured forward the claim that Akhenaten birthed the idea of Tawheed that later was adopted by Islam. I think Tawheed and monotheisms are two different terms, and you're conflating the two. Tawheed, which is the unity of God, versus monotheism, is two different things in totality. You know what I'm saying? It's two different things. So I think you're conflating that, because I don't think anybody from the Kemetic school of thought would ever even say that Tawheed is equivalent to anything as such in Kemetic philosophy. I don't think they would make that argument. They can say that your version of Tawheed, obviously the Kemetic has a version of Tawheed, or the unity of deity, or the unity of God, or the unity of nature. Definitely. They have the one nature or the one God principle. Definitely. But to say that they adopted Tawheed from Kemet and you're utilizing Akhenaten, I think that's a fallacious argument, full stop. I wouldn't have even gone there. I would have never gone there. But anyways, let me see what the family's saying. We need to look after ourselves and fix ourselves. Where was the original Quran papyrus found? Kalam really is the worst guy to go against when it comes to knowledge. This brother knows his stuff. Can't touch him. Give thanks. What's going on? Kalam is a beautiful, knowledgeable brother. Shouts out to my brother Saracen in the building. No matter what religion or beliefs they have, Kalam is the king of knowledge. Oh man. And also, Sarah for president as well. Don't ever forget that campaign. All right. So I was reading this. I think it's excellent. I think it's personally excellent anyway, that the author has actually brought forward this information. Hopefully, Muslims will get more keyed up on Kemet and its version of things. If we was going to relate, the Tawheed, the Kemetic Tawheed, okay, the Kemetic oneness of deity to the Islamic oneness of deity, like, we can do that right now. Like, I always have books just floating around. What most probably my Brixton Masjid may purchase. So please go and purchase this, okay? And this is called the Hermetica. This is the Hermetica, okay? This is most probably the most academic edition of the Hermetica, translated from, I believe, the Greek and the Latin, etc. Like, go get something like that, and I'll read from it as well. Obviously we have loads of books just lying around. You know, in the car, when you're in the car, like, you just there, you're bored, you gotta read. When you go barbers, you have to carry 1-2 books with you. So let me just quickly give you something, because we do have an equivalent of what people will call Tawheed, which is the oneness and the unity of deity. So let me just read something out to you, so you guys can kind of get a glimpse. Like, if you're gonna do an argument of Kemet Tawheed versus your Tawheed, let me just read something for you. So this is from the Hermetica, and it's the fourth book within inside of the Hermetica. You may find it as this: a discourse of Hermes to Tat, the mixing bowl or the monad. Okay, so it's what they call the mixing bowl or the monad, and it's a discourse of Hermes to Tat. Okay, and it basically says here, since the craftsman made the whole cosmos by reasoned speech, okay, by reasoned speech, not by hand, you should conceive of him at present as always existing, as having made all things, as the one and only, and as having crafted by his own will the things that are. For this is his body, neither tangible, nor visible, nor measurable, nor dimensional, nor like any other body. It is not fire, nor water, nor air, nor spirit, yet all things come from it, because he is good. Okay, so right there, that is our version of what you would call deity or God or Allah or whatever you want to call it, and that is our understanding of Tawheed, or the unity of the deity, or what deity is. Furthermore, I can go on to something else that speaks a little bit more upon it. Let's see. You know me, books, you know. I think I need to pull for another book than this one, actually, to discuss something like this. Let me see. Do I have a cross-reference? Cross-reference 17. There we go. There we go. All right. So let's talk about the oneness again. So the monad. Monad is another way of saying the one. Because it is the beginning and root of all things, is in them all as root and beginning. Without a beginning, there is nothing, and a beginning comes from nothing except itself. It is the beginning of other things. Because it is a beginning, then the monad contains every number, is contained by none, and generates every number without being generated by any other number. But everything generated is imperfect and divisible, subject to increase and decrease. None of this happens to what is perfect, and what can be increased takes its increase from the monad, but it is defeated by its own weakness, no longer able to make room for the monad. So that's a little something there. Let me see something. Yeah, that's a little something right there. So, you know, that's our conceptualization of the oneness of deity or Tawheed and so forth. That's just a little snippet. There is so much, you know, tomes of information that speak upon this particular topic. But for you to do a whole 7-page pamphlet, and like, I liked it, but then I was thinking, all right, cool, like quote who exactly is making the claim that Akhenaten, you know, your Tawheed is adopted from Akhenaten. I think most people make the claim, especially Egyptology, make the claim about monotheism. Akhenaten is the first person in recorded history to bring forward monotheism, and he gave that to the world type of thing. I know Egyptologist makes that claim, definitely, I'm with you on that. But to say that it was Tawheed that he gave, I don't know about that one, you know. Or you adopted Tawheed from I don't know about that one, you know. I think you should come a little bit correct, a bit more correct on that one. What else? What other little critiques I had for it? Then, like, okay, you're talking about Kemetic thinkers, like this is for the Afrocentric Kemetic thinkers. And then I'm just reading just a bunch of white authors, just pure white authors you're quoting, like, and I'm like, okay, like, where is like, you done a footnote on maybe like 3 Kemetic writers that I saw. Maybe I might be mistaken. Let me just say 5. Let me say 5 footnotes. You've done a whole heap of footnotes. And I was like, but where? Like, quote somebody who is a Kemetic Afrocentric thinker that puts forward the claim that you're making. Otherwise, it just seems a bit strawmanish. I just try to divert people from the actual Kemetic philosophy itself. Because the 4,000 year of Kemetic philosophy is kind of, I don't want to say it is homogeneous, but it's kind of homogeneous. It's only that little blip with Akhenaten that brings something completely different. And that wasn't, in my opinion, again, I would say my opinion. I know Egyptologists may say something different, but in my opinion, that wasn't no monotheism. That was something completely different. He was on some quay, you know. But that little blip, you wanted to bring that up and try to teach people this is what Kemetic people believe. Nah, you went wrong, man. You went south. You went too south. So I appreciate the work. Let me just see, what else did you write about? You talked about Moses, that the laws and commandments of Moses, the common conception is from the Kemetics is that, which I'm not going to deny, you are right. It says here, let me just make sure I get it correctly. I don't want to misquote you. It says, there is also an argument that it is popular with many in the Kemetic movement that the teachings of Musa were merely taken from the ancient Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day, the 125th chapter in particular. Not only do little of the laws given to Moses overlap, but also this ancient Egyptian magic spell book contains clear polytheism and idol worship. So how could the Prophet Musa derive knowledge from this when it contravenes the pure worship of Allah? And again, maybe for me, I'm just reading your word in here and I'm thinking you're misrepresenting again, like equivocation, like just pure misrepresentation. Because as far as I am aware of, nobody within inside, as far as I'm aware of, I might be wrong. Again, I might be wrong. But as far as I'm aware, nobody from inside of the Kemetic school of thought say that the laws of Moses, because there's a big difference, you know, where what you're saying makes sense if you're talking about laws rather than commandments. The claim is that the 10 Commandments is derived or inspired by the Book of the Dead, 125th chapter, the 42 negative confessions. If you're saying the 10 Commandments, yeah, then yes, the 10 Commandments definitely is. If you're saying the laws of Moses, there is no laws as such within inside of the negative confessions or the 42 admonitions or the 42 laws. It's not laws. It's actually you know, ethical, virtuous propositions in form of negations. What I mean by that is I have not stolen. So ethically, you know what it is to be truthful, honest, not to be a thief and so forth, and then you put forward that as a declaration that you have never, you're not a thief, I have not stolen. This is the epitome of isfet, it's the epitome of wrongness. So it's not a commandment, nor is it a law or anything like that, but it's actually a virtuous statement in the negative, basically. So but like I'm like, nah fam, like you're like you're a bit with these words here, you know, like little. Man said little of this particular book has the laws, or was it not only do little of the laws given to Musa overlap? Fam, I'm pretty much sure, I think it was at least eight of the 10 Commandments overlaps 100% with the 42 negative confessions. 8 of them. Okay, if you want to say laws, which is, you know, there is supposedly in the mikvah, which is the Jewish text, meaning like the laws basically, there is about 613 different laws. Okay, there's 613 in total. Okay, and if you're going to tell me 42 of these confessions you know, makes up the little part, then I'm 100% with you. Like, I'm reading your article, I'm saying I can agree with you, but you're doing something that's a bit sly. Like, you're doing something that's sly. Because if we're talking about the actual commandments and the actual claims that Kemetic thinkers make, they talk about the 42 negative confessions. Just type up the 42 negative confessions now. Those people who are on Google or Wikipedia or whatever it is, type up 42 negative confessions and the 10 commandments of Moses, and you put them side to side, okay? And you will see at least 8 of the 10 completely correspond with the laws or with the commandments that Moses gave. So like with your wording again, it's like misrepresentation, a little bit of straw manning, a little bit of fallacy of equivocation going on. I don't know what you're doing here, my brother, but I love the effort nonetheless. Let me see what else. And I appreciate it as well, because it seems as though you're well read. You're actually well read. You're well read. Shouts out to you. Shouts out to you, my brother. You're Abdul Hakim, you're well read. I appreciate you. Okay, a little bit of rhetoric here. Like, how can the worship of the sun be conflated? Let me just read this here. How can the worship of the sun be conflated with the worship of the creator of the sun? And even here, the worship of the sun cannot direct. Yeah, I see you doing little shots. I see it. I like it. I like the little shots, man. Trust me, I like it. Let me just see. Anything else of notes? Basically, permanent tense. I'm on page, I believe it's page 4 right now. Then he meant quotes Tamar El Siudra. Like, again, like, everybody likes this Tamar woman, you know. You're talking about Afrocentric Kemetics, yeah? Like, and you're quoting white scholars. Like, what's going on? What happened to Maulana Karenga? What happened to Asa Hilliard? What happened to Sheikh Anta Diop? What happened to Dr. Ben? What happened to, like, come on. What happened to Asar Imhotep? Like, what happened to what's the people that done the law, the act book? I can't remember their names now. Like, what happened to all of these great? What happened to Theophil Obenga? Why are you not quoting them? I don't understand. You're actually quoting pure white European scholars, and then you're saying this is actually an attack on Afrocentric Kemetics thinkers. I'm like, at what stage here? Abi? No, not even Abi again. Charlie. Bra. Come. Sit down, Abi, come. Let us discuss this matter at hand. From one African man to the next. Where are you going? I don't understand. I really don't understand, you know. Like, but fair dues, because I know, like, when the Muslims read this, like, oh yeah, I got some heat for them. But when they actually buck up on a real Kemetic thinker and author and scholar, I think we need the medicine man. Hey, yo, medicine man. Give them that medicine, fam. I swear down. But anyways, yeah, great effort. I'll say A for effort. A for effort. I am well pleased by what you have done. Like 100%. 100%. I'm well pleased. Alhamdulillah. I love it. And hopefully we can get some more conversations like this in, because I'm happy. I'm real happy. I'm real happy with this. Anyways, let's see. I'm in comment section now, family. I'm in the comment section. So if you got any comments, let's get it in. Abu Ismail Al Farsi, what's good? I really like the way Kalam tries to refute us, so I can learn a lot from him. Judaism is a plot to take this next person now. Benny Sykes. Judaism is a plot to take over the world and eliminate the African race. Someone says, do you mean Zionism? Christianity and Islam are soldiers for Israel. Israel as a whole had 10, and then okay, let me just actually get to something that is about this. Titans TV and brother Kalam, long time no see. What's good, Kenneth? I ain't seen you for ages. Pentecost will take a DNA test. You know, Powell is right. It's black people and destroyed everything. Okay, the man says, here comes the haters. Where's Sarah anyway? What, man? Like 9 ethers in the building. Man said Islam is dead, you know. Can you know, someone says, can you leave Sarah's name out of your mouth? Every Muslim wants Sharia law, like every Jew wants Zionism. Oh man. Don't think especially Israel, the Bible, how much is much. Let's see. I'm trying to read some comments, man. What are they talking about this? Is it just me that's excited? Maybe it's me because I'm the only one who's got the article next to me. I guess. But I love it. Same way. Anyone here believe white people are racist? Okay. Love the African accent. Oh man. Sorry for president. Lady Divine in the building. Oh, Abdul Malik reformed Islam from Petra to Mecca and made up Muhammad. Muhammad Lol. Africa's accent is a peaceful one. Where's the medical grade? That's me. That's what I'm saying. Hey, medicine man. I'm waiting for my medicine man to come true, you know. So hopefully we can hold a hangouts tonight. Hold a show tonight. We could talk about whatever you want to talk about anyway. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. But hopefully Gabs will be available. I know he said he's looking to jump on earlier on. So let's see what's good. Someone saying about Mormonisms make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So I up the game for them. They now all want to change freedom laws. There's no such thing as spiritual Israel. You can be born and stuck in Israel. Okay. Especially when an African woman talks big. Imagine. Low. Kalam will eventually become a Muslim. I promise you, fam. Woo! You lot stop attaining this fool. What are you doing in Sarah's closet? Sarah is shit. Okay. Not people talking about Sarah. Like, I don't even. Is Sarah in the building or something? Because everybody just Sarah. Like, I'm Kalam, man. I'm Kalam. Where's the love for me? Or where's the hate for me? Show me some hate too. Damn you. Hey, I'm getting jealous now. Why is everybody talking about Sarah? They're not talking about Kalam. Listen, you ain't made it until you got some haters. Where's my haters at? Hold tight my original trolls. Where are my trolls at, man? Troll me. I'm feeling upset that Sarah's getting all the shine right now. Come on. I got issues, you know. I swear down. But anyways, it's fun, family. It's fun. Let me just see what's good. What's good. Kalam, we don't care what Muslims teach about Kemetic. I know. But guess what? We need to care. We need live debates in London, Kalam, Harlem style. Oh yeah. What is the video about, Kalam? Again, it's about an ustad, a teacher inside of the Brixton Masjid. Brixton Masjid is usually like a heavily Afro-Caribbean mosque. Basically, it's very much so an Afro-Caribbean mosque. So basically, somebody within inside of the Afro-Caribbean, well, he's Ghanaian actually, Ghanaian Muslim, that has actually issued out a rebuttal or response to Kemetic claims of Tawheed originating with Akhenaten, supposedly. So he's given out a very detailed, a very nice actual rebuttal. And to be honest with you, I like it. To be honest with you, I wouldn't fight it too much. But there is clear holes in it. But it's really good. It's really good. That's what I would say. We want Gary. We need the truth. Yeah, we need Gary. Oh. Let's see, Kalam B bringing the heat. Kalam never be Muslim, Kalam, I hate you. Ha ha. Love it. I love it. Show me that love. Hate love. That's it, brother. Kemetic question. In your opinion, was Kemetic philosophy originally a Tawheed religion? Let's see. How do I answer that for you? In your opinion, so you're asking for my opinion? Alright, cool. Kemetic philosophy originally a Tawheed religion. Okay, so the philosophy, no. Its aspect, or the aspect of its philosophy, i.e. theology, which is one aspect of its philosophy, was Tawheed, or Tawhido. So I'm using Tawheed as Arabic, but obviously we can use Tawhido as in Ethiopian or Ga'ez language of saying it, which literally just means causing the oneness, or causing it to be oneness, which is literally the unity of deity. So yeah, there is a unity of deity principle. You can find it within inside of its scripture. You can find it within inside of the walls. You can find it all over the place, that there is this one concept of deity, and that everything is a manifestation of the deity, which is part of the deity, one with the deity, etc., so forth and so forth. So yeah, there is this oneness or Tawheed principle within inside of its philosophy. So it originated that idea in terms of literal text. Obviously, we can find it throughout Africa. John Mbiti, in his African Religion and Philosophy, he writes that the concept of one God, or the one deity principle, is basically permeates and pervades throughout African thought, full stop. So Africans, full stop, whether north, east, west, south, central Africa, always had that whole one God concept, or one deity concept. So yeah, it was. Sarah needs to be a lecture. Needed to a lecture. Yeah, come on, man. What's good, family? You lot should be booking out the family. You lot should be booking out Gabs. You lot should be booking out Sarah. You lot should be booking out me. Like, all sorts, to come do lectures, to come meet you family. Come on, man. What's going on? Like, you guys need to stand up too. Trolling you all the one. Let's see. The Muslims scared of Sarah because Sarah got a backbone. Extremely balanced TV. Muslims can't handle debate. They lose their minds and attack people personally or physically. Wagwan. Kalam, they can't mess with your knowledge, bro, so diversion tactics. Guess thanks. UK is a Christian country, indeed. Our God comes from the planet Collab. Yeah, buddy. You dried up the tears now, yeah? Is the sword Tawheed in Quran, Kalam? Is the word Tawheed in Quran, Kalam? Oh, no, it's not. Nope, the word Tawheed is definitely not in the Quran. Definitely not. That's something that was actually let me not even go there. Kalam, you're my bro in humanity. You're my bro in humanity, man. Keep the haters away from this great channel. I am a white Moroccan Muslim, and I highly support and love my black friends. The black community must be respected. Love, heart all day. Shout outs to you, Marshall Mathers. Let's see. Kalam, I don't like you to begin with, but you are actually just you. No one ain't rattling your cage. I need to learn a thing or two about this chill 24/7 mode. Aw, man. That's from BU, supporting Leicester City Football Club. What's good? You dash out Horizon. Who dashed out Horizon? Let's see. UK is a Christian. Okay. The only The only we will get to the bottom of is a live debate with a Ghanaian brother. Yeah, no, I want to hook up with this Ghanaian brother and sit down. Actually, sit down at his feet. Sit down at his feet. He's an elder. I need to sit down on his feet. I need to listen to hear what he has to say, learn from him. I really love to listen and learn from him. He seems as though he's a powerful brother. So I want to sit down. I want to sit down. When I say sit down, I don't even want to sit down as co-equals as him. I know you don't want to see something like I want to sit down as a student of him and hear what he actually has to say, because I know I could learn something from the brother. Obviously, I don't need to agree with him, but I know I can learn something from him. So it'd be very excellent to hear. And hopefully he's been with part of this whole Muslim community within inside of Brixton. Brixton has a long heritage as well. So I would really like to see, pick his mind and hear his thoughts and how the community has been built up, and what has been happening, like what's been going on with the community itself. So that'd be very interesting. What you saying, Big Valley? In Islam we don't believe in Neanderthals and Homo erectus. We all came from Adam. Let me catch some joke. Can I catch some joke? Let me catch some joke. You know what? Yeah, my brothers. I know not all Muslims believe this, or all religious people believe this, but it's gonna be funny, yeah. I want one of these days, yeah, when somebody needs like a blood transfusion, like they don't need to care about A negative, B, O, all those things there, RH. No, it don't matter. It don't matter, man. It don't matter what blood type you are. We all came from Adam. Man. So it don't matter. Man gets an RH negative blood transfusion, brother. Be like, but I thought it didn't matter. No, it matters, fam. Regardless of how much you want to deny it, okay? The evidence is to the contrary. Sarah is mature. Sarah's mature. Kalam sounds and acts like a kid. Trust me, 100%. 100%. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've got to be the most immature person, yeah, with a little bit of knowledge on all of these platforms. I'll be real with you. You know how often I play with my child. And you think that you're gonna rub off on me? 100. Even before that, I was probably the most childish person ever. So yeah, I'm with you, definitely. I don't think they could send out throw some shots. Nah, bro, Mount eat it, digest it, and see it as a positive still. Let's see what else. Mormonism is the fastest growing religion. Is they saying something? It's about to get hostile. I can feel it. Nah, stop calling me Kalam, do you think the Jewish writings stem from the Kemetics and Cushites bashing the Amorites' head in? Well, I would say, according to certain things that I have read, certain articles and journals from Jews and Christians, when they have done textual criticism on the Bible, especially Genesis. I know I showed this before. They show that basically the Genesis story was actually taken. Let me not say taken. That the Kemetic Genesis story was the prototype, or the prototype for the for the Genesis story of the Bible. But the difference is it was a polemic response to the ancient Egyptians or the Kemetics Genesis story. So yes, I would say that the writings stem from the Kemetics. So a lot of the concepts definitely do stem from the Kemetics. But the Jews were in opposition to the Kemetics. So they took certain things, or they inherited certain things, for example, and they rejected other things. That's the best way I can put it. And if you read the book by Maimonides, that's it, Maimonides, I think it's writing in the 9th or 10th century, greatest, like one of the greatest Jewish minds ever, I'm talking. He speaks about that as well within inside of his Guide to the Perplexed, how a lot of the stuff was basically that was ascribed within inside of the laws for the Jews to actually do was, how can I put it, a response to the Kemetic way of life, but they had to hold on to the Kemetic way of life. So for example, if the Kemetics were praying 3 times a day or 5 times a day, whatever, 7 times a day, they kept that practice, but they stripped off certain things within inside of the Kemetic way of doing things. If the Kemetics did sacrifices, they did the sacrifices, but they did it a certain way, type of thing. So kind of just keeping certain elements, but stripping away other things as well. So this is what the Jews themselves, one of the greatest minds of the Jewish thought, actually writes about Jewish writings and Kemet. So yeah, 100. Man said without they have mamas in hotels. Patrol has bro nothing to do with immigrants. Search it up. The European breed is dying out. Low, 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 low. Who is the one God? Okay, J Black's War Times TV. With that being said, is it possible that the original message of Tawheed was corrupted over time? Yeah, by the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims. You know them digs there, them little digs there. Yeah, I actually do think it was corrupted by the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims. Do I really think that? No, I actually think that the original Tawheed can be found written in terms of literature. Let me say in terms of literature, the original Tawheed concept is definitely found written inside of the pyramid text, and other things as well, but definitely inside the pyramid text it is written. And the coffin text, actually. Yeah, the coffin text. So let's just say the pyramid text and the coffin text. One of the 2 oldest religious books, indeed. Full stop. The original Tawheed message is originally in there. And because of cultural diffusion and people having different cultural lenses, the conceptualization of Tawheed changed with those people who are foreign or were more dispersed from the hub of what Tawheed was. So yeah, I don't think it's been corrupted as such. I just think that the idea has moved away from the original. It's moved away from the people who originated it and best suited to the people that now have it. But it's still there in its original form, right? We can still read it today. So yeah, man, let me know when is getting that work. Kalam, do you think we should listen to Kemetics and compare Asiatics to APEP? That's a big one, you know. That's a big one.